All right, everybody. Thank you for joining Who Taught Us That podcast with Jay and Miss Lady. So what are we talking about today, Miss Lady?
All right. We're going to get back on target of who taught us that, because I think we kind of fell by the wayside.
Oh, Lord, don't say that.
You know what I was thinking? Seriously, we got a lot of stuff going on in this world.
Mm-hmm.
And so the question came in my mind, and I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to see how you answer it. What was one of the first games that you learned how to play as a child?
I want to say Jacks, but that would be wrong. It would be a nursery rhyme.
In a group setting.
Yeah, like Ring Around the Roses probably. Or Duck, Duck, Goose. Because, you learn all that mess at school.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, I was thinking more of Follow the Leader.
Follow the Leader.
Mm-hmm. Did you play that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or like Simon Says.
Yeah, but no, like Follow the Leader. I mean, I remember like the teacher would say something like, okay, we're going to follow the leader. Yeah, I guess you would say like a Simon Says. If somebody put their hand up, you put their hand. Mm-hmm. Or Sally is going to lead the line today, and y'all
everybody
follow Sally
be the leader.
and all that. Yeah, everybody want to be the leader.
That's a form of manipulation.
Yes, that's what. Yes. And that's exactly. I was thinking we are taught that very early on in life,
to follow the lead.
Follow the leader.
And leaders have learned how to manipulate that situation and make people do whatever they want them to do, which to me is so horrible. And that's why so many people don't vote and don't abide by leadership.
Yes, exactly.
And the church makes me the most mad about it, because they won't speak up. And yeah,
we got something going today. We're going to get her fired. Jay about to get fired up, because that's exactly what I was thinking. Like, just follow the leader, just different things that we do because someone told us to. Or someone, get in line, do this. When you get, even when you go, you mentioned, like when you go to the polls and you vote and you stand outside, all right, here you go. Here's your Democrat. Just go on up there and just all the way down, or Republican all the way. They telling you
what to do.
Yes.
Instead of asking for the whole thing. And maybe you like this Republican, but this Democrat or this Independent. And they don't really give you that option. And nowadays, younger people ain't going for that. They like, no, I'm not just this or that, which is so true, because people say what they want to say during the times of election, but where are you at after that? Exactly. And I understand that you have a lot on your plate. You got to be at this meeting, that meeting, but just the same way that you was coming down the street and shaking hands, we still need to see you. You still need to report back, and people don't understand that needs to be a part of their scheduling too. So let me still go back to this town hall meeting and let the people know what I'm doing about X, Y, and Z. But I remember before my mom passed away, we was having a discussion. She did not like you talking bad about the president or anybody in office, the mayor, whoever, because they were the leader. We just needed to respect them. And I said, Mama, them days is gone. I know in your early years you just had to do whatever. Them days is gone. Now we can stand up and say, no, we're not following the leader. And so many people are starting to demonstrate that. The thing that makes me angry about that is, why do it take so many people so long to see that the leader is wrong? See, a lot of us see it before the elections. We go, nah, honey, you ain't right. But then other people don't see it until it affects them directly.
That, and also think about this too. They're forcing someone on you.
Yes.
So if I don't think that my choice A or B, I don't like you, well, you got to pick the lesser of the evil. You got to pick.
They do say that.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
That's excellent question.
What do
you do? Do you vote the lesser of the evil? Do you vote for the independent, or do you not vote? What do you do, and what's wrong and what's right, and who taught it to us? Because I've been taught that, you have to make a choice. You have to vote something, because if you don't, you're just as bad as the next person. But
well, I think about Bernie Sanders because he would always run as an independent, if I'm not mistaken. He probably got the most sense out of most elected officials. But he's an older white man, and most people just like, oh, he's so old, oh, he's talking crazy. But then it'll circle back around that what he said is right. Now, I'm not a big supporter of his, but typically because his Democratic people didn't support him, he would have to run as independent. But regardless, the two people that they give you, if you don't like neither one and you don't vote, you set the whole country up. If
Right.
you go for the third person that don't have all the money to campaign and make people know who they are, then you still are letting one of the two main people win. So, and who taught that? We just learned that growing up.
exactly. So what is the best decision?
That-
We're not going to answer that today. I
Right.
mean, and it goes deeper. It goes deeper than just politics. I mean, it's everything, even choosing a religion or faith or whatever.
Yes.
You know, it's like if you're taught this way growing up, then more than likely you're going to stay.
in that religion.
Yeah, and if you
Yes.
venture off, then you're looked at as the bad person or what's wrong with them.
Which is so interesting because growing up, you used to only go to the church in your neighborhood. It was called neighborhood churching. And so you would just go to the church in your neighborhood. And then as you got older and people started moving out of the neighborhood, then you started going to wherever you wanted to go. But now it's not neighborhood churching because you don't know the other people in the neighborhood in which you are going to fellowship with.
Okay, so you think okay, so is that why there were so many churches in the neighborhood?
Yes.
And so you think that people gravitated to the one that was closer to them, and that's how
Yes.
they ended up. But okay,
That or that's the church that my mom, my grandma went to, so I knew everybody, and yeah. And so a lot of times people never veer from that. And so yes,
so
I
they're
do believe
still
that.
following the leader. Then.
But nowadays it seems like people go after big churches, which I've never
Right.
been, gravitated towards because it's so many people in the church. Like, who knows who you are, you know? And I shouldn't just say church. That's any religion, because it could be a hall, Kingdom Hall, or whatever. Even though they keep them like this, they keep them the same size everywhere so that they can kind of designate who does what. But yeah, I think a 7-Day Adventist in the mall, I think they all do that. Like they all keep it the same so that there's not one bigger than the other. But I could be, don't quote me, I could be so wrong.
And I'm really so you saying all that, and this is good because what I really want to dive in is, did it really start in our home? Was it taught in our home, or where I can't even talk? Were we programmed from like some outside image, maybe through the TV, the radio, whatever? Because even when you think about social media and people doing these trends and, oh, we have this trend, oh, let's do the cheesecake trend, oh, let me do this. They see some, oh, I need to run out and do that. I need to follow. I mean, we've had children lose their life because they've done a trend.
Yes,
that, and to me, that's all a form of following the leader because
Yes.
somebody sets the stage and then people
Well,
follow.
what happens though is that somebody goes viral for something, and then everybody else wants to get a lot of likes for doing that same thing. Like, oh, I could do that. Like it's this song that everybody's doing this dance to, and men and women are doing the dance. It's not really a manly dance to me. It's more of a feminine dance, how the gyration and all. But I've seen a lot of men doing it too, and it's funny because as soon as you hear the song, you know that that's what it is, and then people just keep posting doing the same thing. But I think it's a combination of things. I think you learn it in the home. First of all, because you got to do what your older sibling tells you to do, whoever is in charge. When the parents leave and they leave that one sibling in charge, that sibling shouldn't be in charge. But,
Right.
you got to do whatever they say. Then you do it in school. Everybody get in line. Everybody wants to make a good impression on the teachers so they could be the first one in line. And then you start all these elections, because they do elections in school too.
Yeah,
elementary, middle school, high school. Who wants to be the president? They get to tell everybody what to do. And then sometimes it's just annoying because they shouldn't be in that position.
That's true. That is true. I forgot about.
It's all about popularity.
Yeah, popularity. Who's the most famous this or this or that, and they're voting or picking somebody to lead.
It's the same with social media. It's all about who's the most popular, who's going to get.
What about before social media? I mean, like, remember back in the day, like, when you picking fashion or whatever, before, like, we going to go before you could go viral. There was always somebody like, oh, these are the best pair of jeans, or, you know, this is that.
Again, it was all about what was presented to you. So when you go to the store and everybody is wearing these particular jeans because such and so had them on at this fashion show or on a TV show or whatever the case may be, and now everybody's going out to buy them. Well, all the stores are trying to make them available, but these jeans is going to be $200, but the other jeans are $25. Well, everybody's looking at you when you go to wherever, school, club, or whatever, to see what one you got on. You got on $25 jeans or the $200 jeans, and you get targeted from that. Because now you're not popular because you got on $25 jeans. Everybody know they $25 because we all go to the same store.
Yeah, see, I've never been, me being the eyeball, I've never been drawn to that. I've never been the one to, let me go get them jeans. Or let me do this, let me do that. I've never been that person. I've never gravitated towards what everybody else was doing. Because that's just, maybe I don't even think I played follow the leader because I've been a rebel all my life. That's just crazy to me. When you sit back and think about that, and like initially when we first started the conversation, you were saying nursery rhymes and stuff. You know, those nursery rhymes, they were not positive.
No,
they were
really
negative.
Weren't. Yeah.
And like why would you teach a child this negative
ashes out, fall down? Somebody did a whole thing on that and was talking about how negative it is and how you should not be teaching your children that. But it doesn't matter if you teach them or not; they're gonna learn it at school.
Right. But the meaning, we're gonna have to do that one day. Just go and look at the origin of some of these, like Humpty Dumpty. He fell off the wall, you know, and look. You know, just
nobody pushed him.
Right, exactly. Just different stuff like what? It's crazy. But you're teaching this to your children, to your kids.
Yeah. I mean, everybody wants to be the one who is being seen. So you go out your way to be that person who's first. You know, and regardless, when you go in school, sometimes you're not trying to be the most popular, but everybody gravitates to you, and so they start doing what you're doing, and all of a sudden you're the leader. Sometimes you don't ask to be the leader. Sometimes people they nominate you as a leader, and you just become the leader. Some people become leaders because they mean. I watched this movie about Mean Girls. These people were so mean to people. I was like, oh my God, but she was the leader. And sometimes she didn't want to be mean, but she knew that that's what the expectation was, and so she continued to be mean to people.
So that tells us a lot about us. I mean, for real. Like, what type of mindset do you have? And I guess that would be the next thing, like your mindset. Because, okay, if it's two of us and we trying to figure out something and you seem to have the best solution, that's fine. But I'm not going to let you dictate my entire life and tell me I need to move this way, do this, do that. You know, I'm just...
But when you think about people in relationships, there's always a dominant personality, and that person tends to be the leader.
I like where you're going. Is this why women are supposed to be submissive? Because men are trying to lead?
Yes, they are trying very hard, and you don't think you don't think they should lead? You don't think you should follow the leader, which is the husband? Come on with it. Come on with it.
If I trust him, then I don't have a problem following him. However,
if you married him, then at some point you did trust him. Would you agree with that? Yes. You wouldn't marry. You're not going to marry somebody that you don't trust.
I mean,
at some point, he put in your head that he was a good leader, and that you said, and that's why you said, "I do."
No, because some people, and you hear this all the time, people get married for all the wrong reasons.
They do, but no. Okay, we're not talking about the wrong reasons. We're talking about the right reasons. And you should marry someone based on their leadership abilities. Now, can they lead you in all the directions? Probably not, but they should be able to lead you in most directions.
Isn't that where you're supposed to balance each other out? I mean, am I really dependent on him to lead me all the way 100%? He might be a little clueless.
I said not always.
Maybe he doesn't have that.
What don't he have? My goodness.
The emotional intelligence to lead us the way that we need to be led. Maybe he's lacking in that area.
I don't know that I could be with somebody that can't lead me. Now I gotta adjust my seat, because what are we talking? What?
I'm just saying, not every man.
I'm not saying that he's perfect and that he can lead you in everything. However, he should be able to lead you most. You should feel safe with them. You should not. You should. What else should you feel? Safe is the biggest thing for me. I need to feel safe.
Safe is fine. Safe is great. Safe don't.
And so safe to me. Let me define my safe. It's not only physically, but emotionally, financially. I should feel safe that you're not going to blow the money, that you're going to make sure our house is secure, that if some nutso come around, that you're going to handle the situation, and that you're not going to be mean and hateful to me.
I think you're putting a lot into that. I mean, there's a big... I agree, but I don't agree. I do agree. I agree on the safety part. I do feel that there is an expectation for my husband, for me to feel safe. Now, financially, that's great if he can. That is great. That's a plus.
Right, if he can't. Well, I said... What did I say about money? So my thing is, I know a lot of women feel like their man should make more than them. I'm not one of them women. However, I don't want you to be ignorant with your money. Just going out buying stuff, not paying the bills, that type of thing. That's what I mean by finances. But keep going.
Okay, I agree. But what if can he save? I mean, are you expecting him to save to build up your future?
Yes.
Okay, but what if y'all living? Yeah, well,
what?
You know,
what? We ain't living above our means, because I'm be like, no.
But how you gonna be like, no? He's supposed to be leading.
I can redirect.
See, that's what I'm talking about right there. Got him. Got her.
But that was one of my things. You have to be financially sound. To me, I don't think people misunderstand the thing about having a lot of money. To me. Because I can have a little bit of money and still make it work and still be comfortable and still be in a safe place. That's what people make. Because a lot of people make a lot of money, but they don't do right by their money. Right. And they end up evicted, all these things. So I saw this girl had a 57 credit score. I said, ain't no way. I
didn't even know score could be that.
I guess it could be zero. I think that was AI. I don't know. But I saw that and I said, 57? I didn't think it could get that low.
Right. That's crazy. I don't know. I feel like, yes, I could, marry someone and I could give them everything as far as like letting them lead. But as long as I could trust them, like I would really have to be able to just know that you're going to do something for the best interest of us.
Yes.
That's where I get off, because a lot of people don't think that way. A lot of people are very selfish and they don't think for the best interest of you two. They like to go and think of themselves first and then follow up with what you want or what's best for y'all.
So how do you determine that somebody has the two people's interests first prior to marrying them?
I look at the little things. I have a friend that I used to tell her, like they didn't have a lot of money, and her husband, he would go and, I got to go get some shoes, so I'm going to stop by the thrift store. And while he was there, he would go and find her something. Go and look for her a hat, a shirt, or something. He didn't just go get his shoes. He made sure that he came out of there with something for her. To me, that is unselfish. That was a selfless act because you don't agree? I do. I think when you think of someone, when you think enough of someone to, they might like this or they might like that, I think that kind of shows you the person that you're dealing with. I do.
Okay.
That was the answer to your question. That shows you the person that you're dealing with versus, I went and got me this, or I got, every time you turn around, I went and did this for me, or I did that for me. Then that person is.
I would agree with that.
So that's where I was going.
Okay.
Before you shut me down.
Listen, why you gotta go through the thrift store to get his shoes though?
I just, worst case scenario, like if you ain't got a lot of money, maybe he wants to save.
That's good that he knows he can go to the thrift store. A lot of men would be like, absolutely not.
Right. I mean, some people are not prideful. Some people be like, well, you know what? I'm only going to need this for this. Instead of being that one person, like I got to go to a interview, so I'm going to go buy me a whole outfit that I can't afford.
Right. I think that, okay, let me back up. That is so beautiful. They went to the thrift store and got them some shoes and bought something for them. I think it's nice when people do consider you when they're out shopping because, yes, that is a beautiful thing. That's wonderful. But, I mean, it got to be something else. Like, other than that, then what are you looking for?
I mean, to me, that's...
Because some people could play games and do that all day long if they see that that is a trigger for you.
Yeah, but it ain't going to last. You can only play the game for so long. It's not going to last.
So how long do you think people should date before you say you're going to marry them?
Well, I told you. I mean, I said I'm putting some years. At first, I probably would have said, just whenever your heart. No, the older I get, no, I need to see you at least a couple of years, at least. Because
you want to make sure that what they showing you is who they are.
Yes, I don't need you to change up on me. Because people are some excellent actors. I mean, they are out here on stage performing, missing their opportunity to go get nominated for they are just
But I mean,
excellent.
It's the same in the political arena. They put on a good act while they are out,
That's
campaigning.
Why you should be praying for the spirit of discernment, because you should be able to see that nonsense, see past it. I know you didn't met somebody that you ain't even got to talk. You ain't even have to be in the type of relationship or whatever. Just meeting them and you drew back from them because they just wasn't. It's just something about them that just wasn't right.
Correct.
Yeah. Well, we all
Absolutely.
have
100.
that gift.
They're called, people call them red flags now, but I just call it
No, it ain't
nonsense.
even gotta be a red flag. You ain't gotta go nowhere with them. It's just something. It's just their aura or whatever about them that you just know ain't right. And then maybe later on down the road, it'll come to you, or you might see something, be like, that's what it was. That's what it was. When I first met them, I knew it was something about them.
Give me an example.
I don't know. You could just, it can even be a celebrity or somebody like that. Like you could see, I'm going to throw like Terrence Howard or something. You could see him in a movie or something, and it just, you'd be like, I'm not feeling him. I'm not feeling him. And then later on down the road or years,
you learn something about him and you go,
yep,
that's what it was. Yeah. That's funny because I remember this one singer, gospel singer. I was like, ooh, I was just all hee-hawing about him. And you looked at me, you said, girl, you can't tell that he's gay. I said, what? And you said, watch how he is singing on that mic. And I said, no way. Ain't no way. He is leading the church choir and he is singing gospel songs. And you said, girl, I'm going to need you to go back and look at him perform. And I want you to watch how he's holding that mic. And my feelings was so hurt because later on he came out and said that he had been fighting with his flesh and how he had been with men. And I said, oh, Lord, you didn't give me no kind of discernment. Like, why didn't I see that? But I think I just did. I think I saw it. But I
wanted to ignore. Yeah, you wanted to because you didn't want it to be true.
Yeah, because I'm like, you stand up here in front of the church. What are we doing?
I'm telling you, it's if we pay attention, if we just use the gift that was given to us instead of ignoring it, we can have a lot of awareness, save ourselves a lot of tears, a lot of heartbreak, heartache.
Can we pray for the whole nation to get some discernment? I think that would start a riot because everybody be looking at everybody's side eye like,
Right. I don't know. I just think, just putting your trust, going back to follow the leader, because that's what it boils down to. You're putting your trust in someone. You're putting your trust in man. And
well, you can't really trust man.
But because, when you're following the leader, what do you think? You just said this a minute ago, ma'am. When you following the leader, you are trusting that person to lead you or whatever. You're putting your trust in them.
Yeah, maybe that's why I ain't never been in many groups where I have to follow, because I'll be looking at people like, girl, you are not right. And I just hate that everybody think you are, but I'm going to stand over on this side. But
even if it's not a group, I mean, like we just said, even voting, just where we are forced to make a choice, you have to pick somebody, and that somebody.
Okay, this is what I have a problem with, because everything always results back to money and who got the most money. Because there are a lot of different candidates out there who want to lead the people. They have good intention, but they don't have the money to back them to say what it is that the people need to hear. And when people start throwing stones at them, they don't have the money to defend themselves the same way that stones are being. So they can only go to a town hall meeting, and maybe the media is not following them, but they don't have the money to do an ad where this person is doing an ad saying all these foul things about somebody. So it always results back to money and who got the most money, which is not usually the good leader.
Right. I don't know. I just think, I don't know. I don't know what we need to do or how it needs to be solved, but I think we definitely need to look at ourselves and ask yourself, why are you choosing this person? And, what is drawing you to that person?
Do you think that they should have that type of stuff in school, like the follow the leader type of mentality, or do you teach people to think for themselves? Because I don't think they do that at school. I don't think they teach you to
they're not going
to
do that at school because they're programming us. So no, I think it should start in your home. I think that if you have children, that you should tell your child, hey, you don't do this because, don't we tell them if such and such jump off you gonna jump too? You try to.
But that's all we say. We don't ever say, what do you think you should do? We always say that as parents. I've never heard nobody say nothing after that. If such and so jump off a bridge, you gonna jump too? That's the end of the conversation.
Nah. See, I remember one time my daughter wanted to go to this party, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna let you make the decision. I'm gonna let you decide if I don't know who's gonna be there. I don't know the type of party it is. I don't know any of that, but I want you to decide if you should be at that party. And if you think you should be at that party, then go ahead and go.
What?
That was how because it just lined up what you just said. What happens afterwards. So if you're lying to me, I don't know, it's not even that type of, okay, well then go ahead. Well, I must have gotten in her head because she was like, well, I'm just not going to go. And
was that reverse psychology?
It was, yep.
Because you knew that she probably shouldn't go to the party.
I didn't want her to go to that party, but I didn't want to keep telling her because I think it was like getting to the point where I was just like no every time. And this particular time, I was like, man, I do not, but I can't say no. I'm gonna have to go ahead and bend. But let me dropped this seed
in her head.
in her
Okay.
ear. And so she ended up, I'm just not going to go. And somebody ended up getting shot
Oh, damn.
at that party. And yeah, and so I'm like, see, this is why in life you have to make decisions that's going to be best for you. Not what everybody else is doing, who going to be there, blah, blah, blah. What's best for me. So yeah, I think, you do have to, it starts in the home. You got to use examples. You got to help them figure out, like, you don't have to be a follower. You can be a
Yes.
leader. You can step to the side. It don't matter what everybody else is doing. You can step to the side and be like, I don't want to do that. And if you're the only one in that line, so be it.
So have you ever been told that such and so is going to jump off, you're going to jump too?
I think I have.
And that was all that was said?
I think so.
So what made you be a leader?
Well, I think I've heard that from somebody else, but then I heard over here, it's okay to be different.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's
From who?
From my grandmother.
Okay.
It's okay to be
rest her soul.
yes,
She
yes.
taught you so much.
She did. And so I was, if you over here in this line and ain't nobody in the line with you, it is okay.
That's good.
Because sometimes that's all it takes. So I don't want to be by myself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be, dang, ain't nobody else. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get back over here because ain't nobody else or everybody else was
Right.
in this line.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's okay to be different. It's okay
I
to
see
stand to
more
the
of that
side.
now with the new generation, honestly, because they don't care. Like, you ain't wearing this, okay, and
Right.
I see it with the new generation. I think I saw with my youngest son first. He did not care who went in the line with him. I was like, boy, can you scoot over? And he's looking at me like, no. And I just told him the other day, I said, I remember I would tell you stuff, and you would look at me like, you wouldn't say yes or no.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew from the look that you was going to do it your way. And it would drive me nuts. I'd be like, do not, da-da-da-da-da.
Mm-hmm.
And he would just look at me. And I knew right at that moment he was not going to do what I said. He wasn't going to do what nobody said. He was going to do it his way.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember somebody say, don't break his spirit. Don't break his spirit. You just let them be. That's how they become leaders and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, Lord.
That is
Lord,
true.
Lord.
I believe that. And you're right. My youngest, that's how he is. He don't care. He does not care. He is going against the grain. Whatever it is, he going to do the opposite.
Yeah.
Unless it's something he believes in. If he believe in it, then, But if he don't, he could be the only one. He does
Right.
not care.
That is crazy. But, I mean, I think it's good. I think that comes from raising the children to think on their own and not follow other people. I think that is a wonderful thing for so many people nowadays to be able to do what they need to do.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm glad that the younger generation is standing up and doing that and developing that trait, because if you do something, you should do it because you want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You should do it not because, well, my mama, we always did this and it's okay to break that. It's okay to break that chain, especially if it's something you didn't like doing growing up. If you grew up and you don't like celebrating Christmas, you hate the idea of going shopping, buying gifts, then don't do it. When you get grown on your own, then be like, I don't like that. I hate that holiday. I don't want to do nothing.
But how do you explain that to your children who see how everybody else doing it?
You just tell them, I don't agree with that. I don't like that. And if you want to do it when you get older or whatever, then you can do it. But as for me and my house, I think that I think that children need to learn by example and to see it's okay. And that's another thing that helps, to see that it's okay to be different.
Yes.
I think I used to have because we know that Jehovah's Witness, they don't celebrate,
Mm-hmm.
And I think when I was growing up, I used to be like, well, what? Like there's something wrong. But as I got older, I realized, no, there's nothing wrong with that. There's
Right.
nothing, again, we're programmed, just like our birthdays.
Yes.
Who told us it was okay? Why do I need to be reminded how old I'm getting every year?
Oh, my goodness. Yes.
I mean,
Well, I have to confess that I am not a holiday celebrator. And, you know, my family swears because I used to study with the witnesses, but that has nothing to do with it. I am just one of those people who honestly believe, be nice to me all the time.
Yes.
You do not have to wait till November to Christmas. Be like, oh, how you doing?
Yes.
You should be like that 365.
Yes.
You know, you ain't got to spend a whole bunch of money on me, because retailers will tell you, anybody who worked in the retail world will tell you that they hike all the prices back up, and they make you think you saving money by saying 40% off. No, they put it back at the original price that they want to sell it to you anyway. And so I tell people all the time, you don't have to waste money on me. Buy me stuff all throughout the year. Because I tell anybody, if I bought you something from October 1 through December 25th, and people say, what you get for Christmas? I need you to name everything that I gave you during that time.
Right.
Because that's part of your gifting.
Right.
And my kids, even though they laugh at me, they get it. And who taught me that? I think I learned that from when I was younger. We used to get so many Christmas gifts. And then one year, my parents couldn't do it. And I was like, oh, Lord. What is going on? What do I tell the kids at school? I didn't get nothing, or I only got this one little thing, or, you know. And from then on, I said I would never make holidays a big deal. So it had nothing to do with my journey through my religious stuff. It was just my own experience and realizing, you know, one year your parents is putting out Easter stuff, and by the time, and the next year they ain't putting out nothing. It's just like, so I just said, you know what, we're not gonna do that.
And you said a key factor here, which I hate, is what am I gonna tell the kids at school, or what am I gonna tell? Because that's something else too, that like when children went to summer vacation. And you come back, and what'd you guys do for summer? Oh, we went to Disney World, or we went to Hawaii. We went to, you know, you said
like, I'm in the back. I was in the backyard.
Right. Me and my brother hung out. I mean, you know, and I think it just makes it, I think that is what starts to form.
Yes.
You know, the insecurities, the drive, whatever, because now I got to be compared to little Johnny who got all this money, and I can't go to Disney World. You know, I can't do this or that. Or I didn't get a bike at Christmas, and I didn't get this or that.
Why do you got to get a bike and a TV every Christmas? I would never understand that. I just think that is so, like, stupid. Every year, people, I got a TV. Well, didn't you get a TV last year? Ain't no way your TV went bad that quick.
Right. And then the gifts just keep getting more and more extravagant. Like, you just... Why are you spending all that? What? And again, like you just said, why are we waiting to wonder? What if I don't make it to Christmas?
Exactly. My point.
Yeah. And I never got that gift because you wanted to hold on to it.
Yes.
No.
Yeah. I don't know. And I hope that my kids have learned from that. I'm sure they have. Like, they still, you know, give gifts and stuff, and I'm like, listen, don't you spend a whole bunch of money, and if you want me to get you something, it better be in a reasonable price range, because I'm not spending $500 on one thing so you can set it to the side. And I look at other people who you try to explain that to, and they're like, oh, nah, my kids need blah, 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 blah. I want you to look right now, months, you can even look a day later. That one thing that you was all over town looking for, is your baby playing with that? Probably not.
Right.
Probably not. They don't care. They do not care. Because one thing right now, so many kids are so infatuated with electronics. If it wasn't nothing electronic, they ain't going to fool with it anyway. And if it's not nothing enticing like YouTube and TikTok and all that, they don't give two poo-poos about it. So I just think, you know, of course, they want the clothes and all that, but you could buy clothes at any point.
Do they want the clothes for the holidays?
No.
I was going to say, because I remember.
They don't want no undergarments, but that's what you used to get.
I mean, you might can give them some money nowadays.
Right.
But my youngest, again, he be like, I don't want nothing. And I mean it.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, okay, whatever.
That's what I tell people for my birthday. Now, for a major year, I may do something, but just, you know, I'm like, no, do not. I won't do nothing.
Right.
And people are like, huh? What? Like, no. Yeah. Like, no. Because I want you to celebrate. Every time you see me, I want you to be like, girl, how you doing? Exactly, because, you may not see me the next time.
Right.
Then you snotting all over the place because you done
Right.
been. No, we're not doing that. Mm-mm.
Yeah, we gotta we have to break these chains, just these chains that we've been shackled in and programmed to do this and this and that, and all because somebody else is doing it, or this is the way they want us to do it.
Yes.
And we got to be okay
Who
with
is
doing our
they?
own thing.
Who is they?
We
Pam?
won't talk about that in the next. You know who they are. But the
government.
Yeah, those people. Those I don't even know who. I remember asking my mother that one time, who's they? Who's they? But you know what? Now, hindsight 2020, I don't even know if they is the government anymore. I think they is just
The people.
society.
Yes. I would
Yeah.
agree.
That's dictating us. Whoever, the creators of social media, that's who they is. Is that the government?
Yeah.
Yeah, whoever is dictating us or showing us, okay, put this out there. They gon' gravitate towards this.
And I'm a firm believer if it is a movie or a show or something, it didn't already happen.
Yeah.
You can say what you want to say. I trust and believe. If it hasn't already happened, it's going to happen. So when they try to give The Simpsons all of this credit, no, they probably a part of the government. Because it ain't no way you got that many predictions right.
Didn't they? Well, I heard something. I said,
really
it's a lot.
so I can't.
It's a lot. I've never watched The Simpsons, but it was something that I heard here recently because there's a lot going on. And I think they said something about the writer of The Simpsons or something was on this Epstein file with. And so they said with that, was it really predictions? Were they really predictions, or was this something that they made happen?
I think some of it they make happen.
Yeah.
I really do. I just think, they like chaos. That's like when COVID came out. I think that the government, thought that people were going to react differently. And I think it came back to bite them because people learned how to survive to have little to nothing. And now people don't want to work like how they did in the past because they thought they need all this. But people learn how to live as minimalists.
Yes, they do. That's what we're going to talk about that, too. Because some of y'all don't know how to survive. Y'all don't know if your lights get turned off, if, the gas or water ain't working. Y'all don't know how to survive. Y'all just out there stuck.
Yeah,
bless their heart. Yeah, we need to learn we need to teach y'all so y'all can come back and say, oh, we know it.
The importance of a landline versus just only having a cell phone.
Well, no, teach them how to survive. You know what I'm saying?
How to plant your own food and cook it and all that.
Yes, cook it. It's so many recalls and just. Anyway, that's a whole nother.
We done hit her.
Yeah, that's a whole nother. Who's teaching us? They're teaching us. All right. As always, we are grateful for those who showed up, who joined us today discussing things that challenge our mindset. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe, and leave some comments for us so we can have some conversation. But until the next time, become your own peace, be slow to speak, fast to think, and before you react, ask yourself, who taught us that?